Okay, so let's do our biggest flap first. So this is 8 by 9 3/4. With the 9 3/4 at the top of the scoreboard, we're going to score this at 1/2 inch and 1.5. Okay, that is going to get a pocket. The pocket is 4 by 9. So starting with the 9 inch across the top, we're going to score it 1/2 inch and 8.5, and turn it and score it at 1/2 inch again. Okay, then it gets a flap that is 8 by 7. With the 7 inch at the top, we are going to score this at 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this piece put together. I'm going to miter, and I'm going to miter on my pocket. So I'm going to get the 2 top pieces, and then I'm going to cut across the bottom through the corner where the lines cross. Okay, and then on our flap itself, we are just going to miter the top. Okay, so this will attach at the top part of the folio. So I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish my pocket. And go ahead and attach this down at the bottom. Actually meant to round the corners on that before I attached it, which I can still do, but it might be a little bit harder. So for this, I think I'm going to use, I'm not going to use that one, I'm going to use the big one, because then I know for sure it works. Okay, so I'm using the 1/2 inch side of the big crocodile corner rounder. Okay, all good there. This one I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish. Okay, this is going to go at the top underneath your second score line. And since this is the one we're apparently using this time, I'll go ahead and round these corners as well. Okay, this one does need a magnet or a set of magnets. So I'll grab those and my score tape, wherever it has disappeared to. So I'm going to open that up, put it about 1 inch down, close this, and drop the other one on top, and then tape it down in place. Then you're not having to guess and hope that they're all lined up, because that way they are. And fold and burnish our other piece there, and that one's ready to go. Okay, these 2 are both going to come in from the side. So these are 5 3/8 by 8. You're going to put the 5 3/8 side at the top, and we are going to score these at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. Get a straight line, that is. And that's going to be the same on both. Okay. I'm going to miter both of these and round our our corners. That is the one thing, at least with this one, the little tiny pieces you round don't go flying off into nowhere, because I spent like 15 minutes vacuuming them up yesterday. As hard as I try, they end up everywhere. Okay, so you fold and burnish both of those, set that aside. Okay, and then our next one is going to come up from the bottom. This one's going to be fun. So this piece is 6 by 8 3/8. With the 8 3/8 at the top, we are going to score this one at 1/2. And 1 3/8. Okay. And then I have two pieces that are 1 inch by 3 7/8. Granted, it would have been easier to score this and then cut it, but I'm going through trying to use up my scraps. Typically when I'm designing albums, I do try to use the cutoffs when I'm doing flaps and pockets and that thing, so you're not constantly cutting into a new sheet of paper for some odd sized piece. Okay, so both of these, at the 1 inch at the top, you're going to score them at 1/2 inch. We're going to miter both of these. Not real aggressively. Actually, I'm sorry, you're going to miter them on one side, not both sides. So just one side. You'll see why in a minute. We'll go ahead and miter this. And round our corners. Okay. Then, from your acetates, you should have a long, skinny strip left. Actually, you should have two pieces. We're going to cut this to just under 6 inches. So like 5 15/16. I apologize, but you don't want it to be the full 6 inches or it's going to be a little bit tight. And then of course, cut off your branding strip. This should be 3 7/8 high. So that's about what size we had left after we, except apparently I can't cut it straight, which does not surprise me. That's about what size we had left after we did our panels for the front. Okay, so this is actually going to be a belly band. So you're going to take these two pieces that are this 1 inch, we have mitered on one end only. I'm going to fold and burnish. Try not to squash it all up as I do so, because you know, that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to grab my 3/8 inch score tape again. On the side that is not mitered, so this is the side that's going to be facing out, I'm going to add my tape. Okay, I'm going to do that on both pieces. Okay, we're going to go ahead and glue both of these onto this piece. I'm going to fold my gusset so that when I'm looking at this to try to center this up, I have a better idea of what is actually center and I'm not taking that gusset into account. So we're going to glue on the side we mitered. And so this ends up being about 7 inches. Well, it is 7, is it? Not about 7 inches. It is 7 inches once you fold it. Okay. And then the opposite side. And after we have this glued, then we can center up our acetate. Okay, now remember, this is going to open down. Okay, so you want to make sure your butterflies are facing the right direction. So since this is going at the bottom of the folio and opening down, you want the butterflies like they're flying up towards the top part of this where it's rounded, okay? If you would prefer to wait and attach this until later on, you can absolutely do that, because the other thing you're going to want to do is just kind of set it in there and dry fit. And see how mine's kind of buckling out? I need to shave just a teensy bit off of one end. Okay, like so. And then it fits and lays nice and flat. I've got it in there just about where I want it. So I am going to get the backing off of my tape, fold that over, burnish it down, and then go to the opposite side and do the same thing. And then, because this is a slippery belly band on a flap that's going to be moving back and forth, what most likely will end up happening is we'll either put a little tuck spot on here after it's matted, or we might even do like a little tab of some kind with one on each end and run some ribbon across just to keep anything that goes in there, if that makes sense. Okay, so those are all ready to go. So if I grab my base, it's like, where? It is literally just right here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if I grab my base, which I'm not gluing anything in just yet, this one is going to go centered up on the bottom. Okay, these two are going to go like so, so that again we're repeating that gatefold. This one actually sits, when it's closed, is on top, and then this one is on the very top. Okay, like so, and then of course everything closes up like that. Okay, so the back side of this is going to be just what it is. We'll do a layout and add in some fun elements with the odds and ends and that kind of thing back here. This one will just get matted, and then we'll do some kind of tuck spot or something underneath that. I think we're going to do a couple of flaps on the back side of this. These two, for right now, are going to actually, I take it back, they're getting a long skinny belly band. That's what it was. And then that will open up, and then we've got some more room to play with.